This is the SourceMLS podcast with Mark, Jon and Rich. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SourceMLS podcast here on this Monday afternoon. I'm Mark, joined by Jon and Rich. Hello gents.
Good morning guys.
Hello.
Alright, to kick off this Monday podcast, we've got Jon to go through the headlines from this weekend's games. Jon.
New York Red Bulls pull out their rut to beat Orlando 3-2 in the final game of this weekend. LA cruised to a 5-2 victory over Real Salt Lake, and Vancouver stunned Western Conference leaders Dallas 3-0 at home. But first, our covered game this weekend with the lovely Mr. Rich Cusack was Philadelphia Union 2, New York City 0.
Well, to be honest, guys, I know we said that on Friday we ought to probably be, well, I said I ought to be concerned with New York City. Now I am starting to be very worried by New York City. Chris Pontius and CJ Sapong, 2 first half goals to down New York. We didn't have an answer. We couldn't fight our way back. New York were unfortunate in the sense that a minute after they scored their first goal, Philadelphia, Villa actually had a shot that cannoned off a post. So that was a minute before Philadelphia's first goal by Pontius, assisted by Tranquillo Barnetta. The lead was doubled 4 minutes before half-time, so 2-0, dead and buried, game over at half-time. No way back in for New York, who've now not actually won a game since our home opener. Away at Chicago, wasn't it, 4-3? They've not actually won a game yet. I don't know what you make of that, gents, but worrying times in New York.
Very much.
I think, especially considering we talked on Friday, I said myself what New York City need to do is switch back to what they played against Toronto, with 4 at the back, 3 in midfield, 3 in attack, and they did that. And Rich, you'll back me up on this. Philadelphia just closed them out. They couldn't. There was no way New York were going to get into the game.
They didn't look. They looked bereft of ideas, devoid of any tactical plan, any way of getting back into the game, which obviously we haven't seen at all this season. We did say on Friday, didn't we, that would Philadelphia be able to come through on Saturday evening if they were carried on relying upon CJ Sapong? We won't find out yet because he scored again. It's his 4th goal of the season, and he's now had a goal or assist in 4 of his last 5 games. So there's a lot of players that are hot this season. He's definitely one to look out for with this Union team.
And they're now top of the Eastern Conference as well now, joint top with Montreal.
The one thing I pull out of this, it's the first time in the history of Philadelphia Union that they've gone the first 3 games of the season at the Talon Energy Stadium unbeaten. All wins at home. Well, now that is what you want, making your home stadium a fortress.
Well, I think, sorry John, I think this has really set the Eastern Conference up now for a crucial next couple of weeks. Now you've got 2 teams sat level on 12, Philadelphia and Montreal, after the Impact's loss to the Giovinco-inspired Toronto 2-0. That's set Philadelphia and Montreal level at 12 points on 7 games played. Toronto sit there 3rd with 11 points, and Orlando 4th on 9 points. So, and then you've got DC level on 9 points as well. So you've got a 3-point differential separating the top 5 teams. It's really going to go down to the wire this season, I think.
The one thing I've got is it was Pontius who opened the scoring, didn't he?
Yeah, 26th minute.
Yes.
Barnetta assist. It just seemed that what Union have going forward in Latu, Barnetta, Pontius and Sapong is a fantastic attacking midfield and striker combination. And that sort of group of players leading the line is really going to energise Union. And now that they've got these 3 wins at home, making their home, as I said, a fortress. If you're suddenly thinking, we've got to go to Talon Energy, we've got to go to Union next week, and we've got to go up against these 4 in attack, they could become really, really, really key to their season. Well, I mean, the major figureheads. The only thing is, I've yet to see them play outside of these front 3 midfielders and attacker. If one of these gets injured, would Union still be able to carry on at the same strength? However, as we say, joint top capitalised on Montreal's result this weekend. Now joint top. Actually, no, they are top head on goal difference. As a Union fan, I'd be looking back on this week and saying you've done good job, fine job.
Well, I think that obviously for all Philadelphia's hard work in getting to the top of the Eastern Conference for now, the biggest talking point I think, not to take away from the Union's victory, is the fact that New York City now sit rock bottom in the Eastern Conference. Now, after 7 games, I don't think anyone or many people affiliated or connected with the MLS would have put New York bottom after 7 games.
Not City, anyway.
Oh, no.
It's gone. New York Rebels were bottom before these weekend games, and now it's New York City bottom.
Here's the thing. Okay, the bottom 3 all joint on 6 points. Red Bulls played 8, -9 goal difference, 6 points. Chicago Chicago played 6, goal difference to -1, 6 points. New York City played 7, -3, goal difference, 6 points. They have a game over their rivals, Red Bulls. However, here's the thing. Chicago have 2 on Red Bulls and 2 on City. City could find themselves quickly stranded at the foot of the table. And the worst thing is, what I personally said, was that they needed to switch back to the back four, and they did that. Adoni Iraola, Frederick Brilliant, Jason Hernandez, and, I'm going to say this correctly, Ronaldo Alberto Maratera Elati. I think I said that one correct.
Just shorten it to Ronaldo. Be a lot clearer.
No, they put that back four in place, and then they went with the midfield of Lopez, Bravo, Poku, went without Pirlo.
There's a lot of, looking at the team, there's a lot of key players missing. Diskerud and McNamara, 2 are probably them standout players.
McNamara's starting on the bench, bear in mind. Taylor Jr. I would have started.
Mullins as well is a very good striker. I'd put him ahead of the way Shelton's played so far this season.
It looks to me like a team that places its over-reliance on David Villa, and I think you could see that Saturday evening.
I just think it's a case of Vieira still doesn't know his best team.
No,
I was going to say that. I think it was both you said this a few weeks back. Vieira is still trying to rotate his squad around to find his best formation. And I'm sorry, but Mr. Vieira, you're running out of time here.
Well, it's his first season. You've got to come with a little bit of slack. It's his first major job. He's got players there.
But here's the thing: it's not a poor New York squad. It's a good New York squad.
It's just they can't play together.
The defense isn't what I'd call sound. If I was Vieira, I'd still want to recruit in the defensive area. I think Irarola's past his best. I don't rate Brilliant high enough. However, I'd say I'm quite impressed with Sanders. I think, Villa's Villa. You've got Diskerud, you've got McNamara, you've got Mullins. I've got a lot of faith in Taylor Jr. These are some really good players in my view.
I'd like to know whether the players are being coached to their ability. Is it the fact that, like Mark says, players don't know how to play together? They're not a well drilled or they're not a gelled unit yet, or are they simply just not being coached to the best of their abilities by a debut manager or debut head coach?
I think sorry, John, but I think the longer these poor results go on, I think you've got to start questioning the coach.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
We know chemistry takes time for a new squad, but not all of these players are new.
No, they're not.
How many players have they've played have they brought in this season?
Oh, jeez.
Because Poku's a fan favourite. Villa's been there for a while. I think Shelton, but I mean, the longer these poor results go on, and they will not like being below Red Bulls. Definitely not.
They don't like being last.
They don't like being last. No one likes being last.
And
the fact that they are now replaced bottom by Red Bulls will hurt. They've replaced Red Bulls at the bottom. That will hurt them.
I think it would be a lot better if their opponent the next game up was to be somebody who maybe they could take the game to, but they actually face Montreal Impact on Wednesday evening.
And bear in mind,
is that away or at home?
That is.
Well,
it says versus on my screen, so it could be.
I think it's a Montreal home game.
Yeah.
Which would be slightly worrying if I was a City fan.
Given the way they play, I think New York City would be playing anybody right now.
It's at home to Montreal Impact, who've got a 2-game homestand against Impact and Vancouver Whitecaps. So I'm not being funny. New York haven't won at home this season. So
No.
yeah, I mean, like John says,
Make your home a fortress. Yeah.
make your home a fortress. Make your home ground somewhere that teams have to turn up and play and come and beat you. At the moment, I don't think the Yankee Stadium suits football anyway.
It's not built.
It's not built for that.
Well, you can't blame the ground
No,
for their form.
No, but at the moment, no one's blaming the ground for their form, Mark. But at the moment, a lot of factors seem to be conspiring against this team.
Well, I think
and that could be
if
one of
they
them.
are, I think that's just putting up excuses for the fact they just aren't playing well, and the fact that they've let in 2 goals again. I mean,
Yeah, they can't
their
defend.
defence needs sorting out.
They can't defend for Toffee, can
They
they?
clearly can't defend. They change to the back 4, back 3, back 5, whatever it is every week. They're not having a settled defence. And like John says, play 4 at the back, but it's never the same back 4.
No.
They keep changing it.
Here's the thing, though. As much we've slated New York a lot, I just want to give some more praise to Union, because here's the thing. Whilst we can say yes, it's a poor New York team, whatever, they've still got one of the greatest strikers to grace both the European and North American stage in the last decade, in David Villa. In my opinion, he's one of the best players out there. Still is. And they just completely shut him out of the game. They didn't say, oh, it's a struggling New York team, we'll take today's game easy. They went, right, first off, we're going to cut them out of the game. We're going to say, no, you're not getting through. And they did it fantastically. The minute they went at them, they were closing down. I mean, Barnetta's touch gets past Hernandez. First of all, I said I should stop slating him, but Hernandez, it was poor defending from him. But Barnetta just gets straight past him, cuts the ball back to Pontius, taps it straight in, 6 yards. Boom. Straight in the lead. Sapong doubles it with the flick on from the long ball from the 2.
It's poor defending, but it's let New York
It's
down
poor
all
defending,
season.
but
and
on the
it
other
will
hand,
continue to let them down.
Philadelphia took their chances, went right, cut you out the game. There, done, dusted. We have 3 points, clean sheet, and 2 goals to our goal difference. Bang. And I have to say, if I was a Union fan, I'd be very happy looking into next week. Our second game this weekend was yours, Mark, I believe.
Yes, San Jose versus Sporting Kansas City. I don't think the slating's going to stop, John. If I'm honest, I really don't.
Oh, jeez.
This was it's one of the worst games I've ever watched. If I'm honest, I mean,
Throw it out there. Don't be shy.
Hang on.
It was.
Let
It
me
was poor.
polish the edge of my seat. Polish the edge of my seat. Go ahead.
It was awful. I mean, as a spectacle, it was poor to watch. The first minute, I mean, this is like about 60 seconds into the game. Godoy makes a foul and a yellow card within the first minute. It was a poor challenge. I mean, some referees would have given him red for that, but that set the pace of the game. It's right there. A midfield battle, and the first few minutes, a midfield battle was clear like it was going to happen. And Foul Harbour for Sporting Kansas City and the likes of Godoy going against one another, it was clear that was what was going to happen. And I think San Jose really exploited that. But the first half was a bit unbalanced, really. I mean, there was Sporting Kansas City were probably the better side in the first half. And the only bright spark I could see in that team, even with them dominating, is Dwyer. He works his socks off. He picks up fouls all the time. He knows how to get a free kick without cheating. He really knows how to do it. He's a very skillful player and one I admire a lot. But I could tell watching him, he was very, very frustrated during this game. The service tune was poor.
Put it down to like a service mark.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Lack of service. They couldn't get the ball to him. I really couldn't do it. Well, I'm not going to say it's down to good San Jose defending because it wasn't. It was just down to just poor play in the midfield for Candace. Now, the goal for Wondolowski was a penalty. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to say it was a very, very good penalty by Wondolowski. Very good penalty.
It's 7th of the season so far.
7th of the season, and I remember it's his 116th goal in his MLS career in about 236 games.
That's not a bad ratio, is it?
I want to say before we move on, before we go on to penalty and whatever, do you think that Wondolowski can take Donovan's record? Do you think he can do it?
I'm not sure. He's got 3 players ahead of him so far. He's like the 4th highest MLS scorer. So far.
I would not.
Can he beat him? I don't know.
I would not bet against him.
Form, quality wise, obviously, but I think it's time on his side. How old is he now? He's about 30, 31.
35, I thought.
Is he really? He's old?
I thought he's a lot older. Hang on, we'll check.
I'm not
I mean,
sure.
look, I was going to say to you, Mark, the positives you can take from San Jose's win is that they do have two very good strikers up there, in the Quincy Amarikwa and Chris Wondolowski. You know, Wondolowski's leading the league with 7 goals in 7 games this season. So, you know, I mean, you talk about it being a bad game. Sorry, 8 games. You got 7 goals in 8 games. You talk about it being a bad game, Mark, but I think that for the Earthquakes, they can go away with that, having ground a 1-0 win out. It's all about grinding these results out, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, the penalty decision for Wondolowski's goal was a clear penalty. I mean, it started off by, I think, a tackle from, Coelho. I'm not entirely sure. But they get a ball, a good tackle in the box, and then the loose ball gets to, I think, Amarikwa.
The ball breaks, and I think it was Dawkins.
Dawkins.
Yeah.
It was Dawkins.
I think it's former Derby County legend Simon Dawkins who gets taken out by.
How long is it? How long has it been?
Well, I don't want to even think about it.
I didn't want to say, but Benny Failharbour also played for Derby.
Oh God.
As well. So it's like
hang on, get him out.
Oh God.
But no, so Simon Dawkins is showing a quick feat he used to show for us many times.
Right. Okay. Moving it forward back to the MLS.
Okay.
It was poor keeping.
Dancing past Tim Melia, who for some reason, like you said earlier, before we came on air, he rushes out.
He rushes out for no reason.
He flies out and takes Dawkins out.
There's no need for it. He's going away from goal, and
He
there's
was-
defenders there preventing the shot or pass.
I first thought he was trying to narrow the angle down. Sorry, I know you're going to come in, John. I first thought he was trying to narrow the angle down, but then he flies at the ball. If he stays up and forces him round, Dawkins has to either go on his unfavoured left foot and try and put it round Melia, but for some reason he comes and he snatches at the ball. Like I really don't understand that trail of thought.
It's a definite penalty, one that they can't have the arguments about. But when the decision was given, a lot of the Kansas players went towards the referee, and the main reason for that is they had a penalty decision turned down, probably
5 minutes ahead.
Not even that. Probably about 1-2 minutes. Literally went up the other end and got this decision.
And what did you think to it, Mark?
It is the worst decision I've ever seen.
No, did you think it was a penalty or?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Explain the situation to the people listening in.
It's a good passing move by Kansas. They're just getting a few passes together, and the ball gets to Dwyer. He does a nice turn in the box, and I can't think which defender it was. I think it was Imperiali, but I'm not entirely sure which one it was. He tackles him from behind and just takes him out. Dwyer is thrown goal, he'll tap it in, pretty much. Just sweep it past the keeper. It's the most obvious penalty obviously one of the most obvious ones I've ever seen, and it was a certain red card if it had been given. And not only did he not even give a penalty, he didn't even acknowledge it hardly. Didn't even acknowledge it. He just waved it on as if to say, no, not having that. Dwyer was absolutely furious, and this came about 10 to 15 minutes into the second half, where the tempo of the game started to up in favour of San Jose at that point. Just after that point, they were spurred on by that, and there were some definite problems in Kansas's defence in this game. And you've got Abdul Salam, who is primarily a centre back, playing it as a right back, and well, he didn't do too bad for a makeshift, but he wasn't that great really. Matt Beasley, captain of the side, suffered a little bit of a collision in the first half, and it really showed, because he didn't know I don't think he knew where he was, because a lot of decisions that he made were very, very poor. And
do you think he should have been subbed off?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I'm honest, he should have got subbed off within the first half. And the reason I think the reason he didn't was one of two reasons. One, it would have damaged his confidence a hell of a lot, even if he was injured anyway. And two, I think he must have got some sort of signal from Beasley himself that he must have been okay. But he was affected by it. Some decisions were there. America was running riot, absolutely running. He knew that there was a problem with him, and he run riot and exploded. Got fouls and all these,
but still couldn't finish.
And that's why I think it was a poor game to watch, because we were saying about Dwyer didn't get the service. Wondolowski and now America don't get any service either. I mean, Godoy played a couple of good passes, but nothing really special. Quintero, I think he's too selfish. I think he just tries to go on the run too much. Alashi didn't get into the game that much, and Dawkins obviously played his part in the penalty, played okay, but he didn't play great. There was no really standout performances. I mean, I remember I was doing the live tweeting last night, and I gave the man of the match to Wondolowski purely because of his goal. And if you get a man of the match because of your goal, which was a penalty, then there must not have been many standout performances in this game. And there really wasn't.
A couple of talking points I wanted to make was that, you know, the Earthquakes have now not lost at home yet this season. I mean, you were talking about making your home a fortress, John.
Aye.
The Avea Stadium now has not seen an Earthquake loss this season, unbeaten in 4 games since the season starts. And Kansas, they've now lost the last 3 games, all coming against Western Conference rivals. They go to Vancouver Wednesday night and then play LA Galaxy next Sunday. So how do you fancy their chances of holding that slide?
They need to get out of it quick. Here's the thing. Winning 4 of the first 5 matches, they just... This is the thing that surprises me. In those 5 first matches, I was really impressed with Kansas. They weren't the most openly goal-scoring team.
They were a solid defense.
They just had a solid team. They went out, did the job, had it done. And I mean, you look at who you got going forward: Davis, Dwyer, Zusi. That's a good front 3. I mean, it's not bad. It's not exactly like we're saying we're throwing for the Ackland and Stanley Fords. No offense to them.
I'll admit I was surprised that Davis did start. I was surprised that Davis started.
But they need to. I think Vancouver. Is Vancouver home or away? Vancouver is. It is away.
It's away, yeah. They play LA Galaxy.
It's going to be a tough test, especially considering Vancouver's result this weekend. I think Kansas are going to have to throw a lot at them. Here's the thing: Kansas normally always finish in the playoffs. They're one of the most stronger teams. It would be a big disappointment for them to lose out. However, flip side, San Jose is a great result for them. As I said on Monday, I think there's going to be a split. You're going to start to see a split between the upper few teams and the lower few teams.
Yeah.
So, in this Western Conference, who do you think realistically is going to get in the playoffs? And
out of these two?
Say out of these two first. Do you think who's got the best chance?
I think both of them will make it.
Will make it.
However, I think Kansas are going to be looking more at 6th, 5th. San Jose, whilst I don't want to just say 5th because that's where they are right now, I don't know.
They've got to play better to get higher than the four that are above them.
Granted, there was the red card, but the one game that I saw them in was the Cali Clasico against LA Galaxy, and they were pretty good before the red card, but then the minute it happened, they were done for. And yeah, you can say, oh, well, the red card threw us off a game. Simple fact is, you still got to be prepared to play with 10 men. You still got to be able to carry on.
Really, you shouldn't. When you go down to 10 men, your main priority should be just stop them scoring.
Yeah, it's trying to see the game out.
See the game out. Don't concede from then on. If you get a break, fair enough, but don't concede. That's what your game plan should be.
They need to show what they've made their home a fortress now. It's good, but they need to start taking out Dallas, Colorado, Galaxy, Salt Lake. They need to get the points against these guys.
One thing I want to say was that this game, I think, is a prime example of what I have said. I think I've said this to the guys off air before, is that a lot of teams in the MLS are heavily reliant on one player. Very heavily reliant.
Which team are you talking about?
Quite a few. I can name a few.
Giovinco for Toronto.
No, I mean out of these two.
But at least two. Wondolowski, they rely on him too much. He's briskly bagged almost all of their goals. And then Dwyer for Kansas.
He has scored 7 of their 11.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Personally, in this one, I think it's less of them relying on that's their main striker.
They rely. The only way Kansas were going to get a goal in this game was if Dwyer did a bit of magic, or they got that penalty decision right, given their way. That's the only way they would have got a goal. There was no goal coming for them. There was no quality.
The only reason I say is that when I watched San Jose play and when I watched Kansas play, it's been less, we've got to get it to Dwyer, we've got to get it to Wondolowski, more, we've got to get it forward. I mean, when I watch, no offense to Toronto, but every single time I watch them, it always feels like their only tactic is get it to Giovinco. With these two, I get the feeling that they've got more up their sleeve, more in the bank to use.
Well, Wondolowski, quite a few. Most of the first half, he obviously played in his normal number 9 role up front. But as the game went on, he realised that the service wasn't getting to him, so he started dropping back into more midfield just so he could get a touch of the ball. He hardly had any touches of the ball in the first half. He barely had his name mentioned. So that just shows the lack of service that they had to him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where... If these two play like they did in this game, there's no chance they're going to get playoffs. No chance. You've got Vancouver trying to get a little bit of form now.
Can we put it down to an anomaly? Do you reckon it was just an off day for two teams?
I don't know, because Kansas now have lost, I think, 3 on the bounce now. 3 games in a row they've lost. I mean, they've got to stop that run if they've got any chance. I mean, I know we're still early on in the season, but they've got to stop this run.
Sporting, they were up there in the early stages of the season, weren't they?
Yeah, they were one of the most...
4 out of the first 5, of course.
I think that after about 5 games, they were one of the only unbeaten sides. Now they've lost 3 in a row. So,
got to find form.
They've got to improve. Definitely got to improve. They've got that midfield area's got to improve for me. Right, enough ranting. Enough ranting. We've been ranting for quite a lot. Now let's move on to the score overview, and we've got our man John Date just to read you through the whole of this weekend's scores.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, the scores this weekend. Montreal good start.
Good
Montreal
start.
Impact fall 2-0 to Toronto FC in the Canadian Derby. DC United run out 3-0 winners at the RK Stadium over New England Revolution. Columbus Crew cruised to a 1-0 victory over Houston Dynamo. Colorado Rapids run out 3-1 over Sounders. LA Galaxy have a 5-2 rout of Real Salt Lake. Whitecaps finish off Dallas 3-0. And New York Red Bulls pull out of their poor run of form with a 3-2 victory over Orlando City.
Right, thank you very much, John. Just to pick out a couple of key points from those games, let's look at Let's have a look at Red Bulls versus Orlando first. The game that was in the early hours of this morning. A shock result, or what did you think?
I thought it was a shock result. We all banked. We all publicly said Orlando.
Shall we go through the correct predictions we had for this game?
No, don't.
Yeah. Could we please not?
Please not. Okay.
Let's just say Rich got the furthest out.
Well,
of
let's
all
just
of us.
say none of us banged on Red Bulls even scoring.
I did say there'd be goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got the right. You didn't get the right amount.
I should have just gone over 3.5 goals or over 4.5
Over
goals.
3.5.
It reminded me of when Red Bulls played Houston. When Red Bulls played Houston and they rallied back to win after going down, winning 4-3, I thought, right, this is it. Red Bulls are going to start kicking into gear. And then they didn't. They stalled again. And now they've done it again. Orlando take the lead. They go right, rally back into it. Now I'm in the position of thinking, are Red Bulls going to keep pushing? Are they going to go for this? Or are they going to stall again? And I mean, Bradley Wright Phillips getting his first goal this season.
With a brace as well.
Yeah, with a brace. It's Ogrella, of course, scoring as well. It's promising from the Red Bull side. However, the major thing of their defence is very, very poor. Evidently still weak from the loss of Matt Miyazaki to Chelsea in the Premier League. It's not strong enough. They're on a goal difference of -9. And how many games have you played? 7? They've played 8. 8 games, you're on -7.
Yeah, they've won 2 games and lost all the rest of them. The only team not to have a draw, I think.
To be fair, what did I say to you before? I mean, like, this game, I'm not seeing the highlights yet. I mean, I'm going to watch it when I get home. I've got it on record, but it sounds to me like Adrian Heath was absolutely fuming after the match, because he said, when he was asked what he thought sort of about the failure to by the referee Hilario Gradasia to send off Carl Arumet for a challenge on Carl Larin and give a penalty. Adrian Heath turned around and said to the reporter, how long have we got? I've got a flight to catch. Yeah. He said that they probably deserved to win the game, but he always thought they were capable of scoring on the counter-attack. And he said also, too many times, and he said over the last few weeks, that the outcome of the game is by the people who are officiating, not the people participating, and that's a problem. And he cited that going back the last couple of weeks against Philadelphia and then against New England, the couple of non-calls against for Orlando.
Do you think he's just being sore in that?
I
Or
don't
do you
know,
think he's
because
honestly got a point?
You know, I think he might have a point.
Do you?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they have been unlucky, Orlando. Perhaps it's just me as a fan talking. I mean, perhaps it's also good to get like a non-subjective viewpoint on it, guys. I don't know what you two think.
Orlando played well, but they weren't I think they kind of went into this game, as I mentioned it, Philadelphia Union, New York. Philadelphia could have gone into that game thinking, it's a weaker New York side. We won't have to try as hard. I get the feeling, not saying that Orlando didn't try, but I think they maybe went into the game thinking it wasn't going to be a complete slog to the finish line. They thought it was going to be a lot easier than it turned out to be. And Red Bulls, while starting very slow, came out firing eventually. And so, first of all, I want to give credit to Orlando. Carl Laren back in form.
And that was a good finish. He took it very well.
Absolutely sensational.
I think as a group, he's got to be our favourite player collectively. I mean, he is for me personally. I think Rich is probably going to like him. And John, I know you like. I think collectively he's our favourite player. And I haven't watched the game all the way through, but I watched the goal, and it was a very cool finish from a cross out wide. It was a very cool finish.
Here's the thing, though. Red Bulls rallied, and they rallied well, and took the win. And I think they kind of deserved it in the end. They attacked so well, Grella and Wright Phillips, and Orlando just weren't ready for it. Here's the other thing, though. And yes, Red Bull fans are probably not going to like me for saying this, and yes, I am pointing out the obvious. Red Bull's defense is terrible. Absolutely.
Straight out and say it.
Okay, I'm not gonna dance around the issue. I'm gonna get right in there and be. I'm gonna be quintessentially British. I'm gonna be very blunt on this. It's terrible. Here's the thing. I mean, as I said, they sold Miyazaki to Chelsea. They bought in Gideon Bayer. He's now injured. Penarelli's injured. Zubar and Ameti, just all game they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't deal with what they had to keep out Orlando. And I think if I was Zubar and I was Damien at the end of the game, I would have gone up to Bradley Wright Phillips. I would have gone up to Grella and Kirsten and all the front players and gone, you bailed us out, thanks man. Because the defence was not on point there. However, their attack was better, much better. First game of the season, Toronto Red Bulls, when Toronto won 2-0 at the Red Bull Arena, I said that Bradley Wright Phillips and Grella, they looked off point. They weren't properly going for it. They're off and offside, messed up the chances. In this game, they looked a lot sharper. Don't know what you think on that.
I didn't see the Red Bulls game
much.
I didn't see the Red Bulls Orlando game much. I've seen a couple of goals. I mean, like I said before, Laren's goal was good, but there seems to be a bit of a theme this week. A lot of goals being scored and a lot of terrible defending.
Yeah.
No, I don't reckon, Mark, but yeah, I mean, teams conceded an awful amount of goals this week.
Yeah.
An awful amount of goals. But the resurgence of Wright Phillips is obviously very good for Red Bulls. He might be able to pull them up the
table,
pull them up the Eastern Conference. Like there his first couple of goals of the season. As I was saying before, 6 points separate bottom from top in the Eastern Conference. All Red Bulls have to do is put a run of a couple of decent results together.
Do you see them putting in a good run of form though?
Do I see them putting in a good run of form?
Do you see from this game going in? The next game is home to Dallas, I believe.
Yeah, well, I think if Dallas...
After Dallas' result, they'll think anything's possible.
I'm going to say, yeah, after Dallas got turned over by the Whitecaps in probably the shock result of the week.
We'll get onto that one in a moment. The crowd outside is Orlando were looking good, had a very good start, and we had tipped them for... I personally said playoffs. I thought they'd been doing very well. Do you think this is just a slight wobble? They just weren't expecting this, and they're going to come back next their away to New England Revolution at the Gillette Stadium? Do you think they're going to go back and give it to Revolution, or do you think it's worrying? It's going to be a worrying time for the Floridians.
I won't say worrying. I mean, it's still early on. They still had a good season so far. So hopefully they'll think it's just a one-off result, but they will want to improve defensively. Yeah, seeing 3 goals is not going to be something they're going to like.
It's not even that. It's dropping points against teams that you should be beating. I mean,
well, before the season started, I mean, Red Bulls were tipped obviously because of their performances last season and being one of the main teams. It's only because of results so far that they're thinking, we might got more than a good chance here. I mean, like John was saying, you've still got to put the performance in, even if they are, say, bottom. They've got to put the performance in, and I'm not going to say Orlando got cocky, but I think they got caught out by a team, Rebels, who are think finally realising
But
they
if-
have to put performances in
If
now.
they've gone a goal up, if they win that game against 8th place New York, they're top. They're top on goal difference if they win that game. So I think Adrian Heath will be quick to instill in his team.
Opportunity missed.
But exactly, they're let off there because of the poor form from the teams around them. Well, I say poor form. DC, Columbus, and they both won. So all Orlando have to be sort of like conscious that if they don't put the shift in and get the points in, other teams will around them. Which is why Columbus and DC now are knocking on the door.
Put it like this: if Montreal had got the result that they would have been looking for, they would have been 3 behind second and 5 behind first.
Yeah.
That's a bit. That's a quite a big gap. You got to hope the opposition loses 2 games on the trot and you win both of them.
Right.
That's a bit of a gamble.
I want to pose a question to you guys just to finish off. Red Bulls playoffs, yes or no?
No.
No.
No. Orlando playoffs, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Right. Okay.
I still have faith in Adrian Heath.
Still have
Should we
faith.
just make this like a yes/no podcast instead?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
Don't
think it
know.
would be a lot shorter if it was.
Okay. Next. Moving on. Next game.
Vancouver Whitecaps versus FC.
You want to go
Dallas.
to that one next, right? Okay.
Yes.
Going
Going from yes.
bad defense to good defense.
Yes.
Vancouver's defense.
On one side, that is.
Okay, Vancouver's defense was absolutely fantastic. I was very impressed with their performance. Good on them. I watched the game back, and Vancouver just shut out Dallas. Just held the line perfectly. We're gonna get onto this in a bit, but I have a Vancouver defender in my team of the week. They did.
Oh.
They did well. I thought that. I mean, Dallas going into this top of the league, great team, and then coming to the BC place. Cole Robertson and co. started off badly, but have absolutely crushed them. I mean, this isn't like a 1-0, 2-1 win, 2-0 win. They've gone out, won 3-0 and kept a clean sheet to the top of the league. I'm having full respect for this. I mean,
This coming after we said the 5-0 drubbing by Dynamo for Dallas was probably a one-off as well. And, well, this is another game that we got horribly, horribly wrong, I think, in the score predictions in the Friday one. Again, we're gonna spare ourselves humiliation by not going through them. But I think this is the biggest shock. I think out of every single result this week, that is the biggest shock
I
to
think
me.
it's the biggest one of the most unpredictable results of the season.
Not some. Well, I still say the 5-0 is above that.
personally, it's
Only because of what's happened since.
yeah.
But it's not so much Dallas losing; it's how they've lost.
Well, here's the thing. The reason Dallas lost, in my view, is because they just could not finish chances. Here's the thing. Ruti, Akindele, they were all really, really, really active. And watching it back, I was thinking, how long is it going to be till Castillo gets a goal? And then nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Barrios has been a key player as well this season.
Can I also say that I think that how much of this comes down to the amazing goalkeeping talents of David Alston.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I'm just watching a clip here on my phone of absolutely phenomenal save he makes. He's made some ridiculous saves so far this season.
He's probably been the best keeper so far this season, I'd say.
I think he's the best keeper in the league.
Overall,
full stop.
I don't know. I mean,
Dallas. Where did Dallas go from here?
I think Dallas are just gonna. Next game we said was Red Bulls, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the next Dallas game is Friday night at New York Red Bulls.
I'm confident in them. I'm gonna say it. Diaz came back off the bench and he livened up the game for Dallas. I think it was just more of they missed the chances, and Vancouver noticed this and went right. I mean, they went into half 1-0 up. The own goal from Figueroa, slightly unlucky, but because it was just a wrong time when Mane's cross hit him and beat Sights in goal. But Vancouver got to half time and realised, oh, wait, we're 1-0 up here at home. Let's take the game to them. Let's go at them. And
Pretend it's 0-0, which is what you should be doing.
Jordan Harvey and Mane smashed it straight in. 3-0. And then Dallas had just gone, oh, damn. We're now 3-0 down, away from home. and we haven't got much left in locker. You could see it in the players that started the game. They were just tired. Bringing Diaz on, livened the game up a bit, but it was too little, too late.
I think it's all about now how Dallas react to this setback. We saw how well they reacted to the 5-0 drubbing by Houston. They obviously can react to results, not humiliating as such, but disparaging results such as this one.
Yeah.
How they come back against New York will be very interesting to see indeed, I think.
But here's the one thing, though. Dallas will have to realise that this is something that could be a major setback. And the reason I say this is, if you look at the table, Western Conference, yeah, they're still top. But they've played 9 games. That's two more.
That's one more than the nearest competitor, Colorado, and 2 more than 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah.
So
Galaxy, Salt Lake, and Colorado, if they win their games in hand, they're just going to be left out of it.
Here's the thing. Earthquakes in 5th are within 14. Same with Salt Lake. Salt Lake have 2 on them. Earthquakes have 1. Galaxy are also 3 points behind. They've got 2 games in hand. Colorado are 1 point behind and a game in hand. Dallas could suddenly see themselves drop down a lot farther if results go against them.
Yeah, definitely.
This Thursday and next weekend, they could see themselves drop down quite a bit.
Yeah, it's only because they've played more games than anybody else in the division that they're sitting top.
Meanwhile, with Vancouver, as you mentioned earlier, are starting to get quite a bit of form together, and it's quite promising for them, for the Whitecaps. And going into this, I think that potentially they could maybe start to be challenging to get into the playoffs. They're 2 points outside of it right now. They're 1 place behind it. As I said about this gap, I still believe that a gap's going to appear. I said it would be between 5th and 6th, more likely. Looking at it now, it might be more between 6th to 8th. But if Vancouver can get a bit of form together, they can suddenly jump on the bandwagon of we're the ones going into the playoffs. We're the ones who are going to have our place confirmed with 5 games left to go. So if I was a Vancouver fan, I'd be very happy.
Right, so Vancouver playoffs, yes or no?
Come back to me in 2 weeks.
I'll second that.
What about one more
Well,
thing?
I'm going to say no.
One more thing I'd like to say is Colorado Rapids, surprise package of the season, yes or no?
No.
Really?
Yes.
I'd say Colorado, yeah, of course.
Because how we mocked them at the start
They are
of
the,
the
Here's the
they
thing.
are the Leicester City of the MLS.
No, I won't go that far.
No. Here's the reason why. They were the surprise package at the start when they were doing badly, in my view. Because I expected them to do better than what they were. And now they've come around and become back into the form that I was expecting them to go into.
Right. We've got one more game to cover before we go further. LA Galaxy round 5-2 winners against Real Salt Lake. Guys, shock or expected?
Well,
It's going to come to them.
I wouldn't say
game, isn't
shock,
it?
but I didn't expect it either, if you understand what I mean by
So
that.
you expected the result, but not the scoreline. Is that what you mean?
No, I expected that.
You expected 5-2?
I did not see a draw.
Right.
That in my
Let's have a look at
I predicted Real Salt Lake, I believe, to win 2-1. I believe.
Yeah, 3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
I expected, but I did not. Oh, jeez.
Rich was the only one who predicted the Galaxy win.
Looking back at it,
Yeah, you lot are like.
shut up.
How did you not see that coming? How
No,
did you not
Because
see that
Salt Lake have been quality so far this season.
The
and now
undefeated team left.
Yeah.
I've watched that game now. What, 3 times the goals? Oh, how were they undefeated with a? It's got to. You remember we said
The keeper.
the Dallas Houston game. It was a one-off. I really hope this is one-off for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah,
because
out
the
the system early.
defending was terrible. It's the thing we keep coming back to this week. Oh no! And the worst thing about it is, in my view, Carl Beckerman, veteran MLS player, out and out good tackler in CDM position, was terrible. Nowhere in the ball, nowhere in play. He just could not keep up with it.
When you look at the teams that Salt Lake have played this season so far, they've beaten Seattle, they've beaten Sporting Kansas City, they've beat Colorado, they've beat Vancouver. They've played good teams, and they've beat good teams as well this season. So how does a performance like that suddenly just come out of nowhere?
Galaxy were too
one
much for them.
word. Platter.
If you're a Salt Lake fan, you are surprised about
Would
that
you
game.
say that because the lack of platter is what took him off the game?
I almost took him off the game because he's not the one doing the defending. But I think they missed a little bit of a spark in the tide.
You also said goalkeeper.
and the reason they've done so well in Nick Romando, of course, veteran goalkeeper.
Well, I'm not saying he's been good so far. I just think he's had a bad game in this game, with the exception of the penalty save.
I don't think he had a bad game. I think it was on his defence. The Gerrard goal, which, by the way, is fantastic at the end, the ball gets played across. I think Galaxy try to switch the play. The ball gets played across. It lands literally about a metre in front of Beckerman. Any centre defensive mid worth their salt, I don't care if you're box to box, if you're a guy who pushes forward, mainly defensive, that is a ball that you instantly collect, and then you push it onto the attack. He misses the ball. He literally controls it with his foot and it bounces over him. That's a schoolyard mistake. Even I don't make mistakes like that, and I'm not that good on the pitch.
Well, me and Rich can both clarify that.
Yeah.
He lets it go, and it falls straight to Gerrard. And then
Not
Gerrard
the way
goes,
much better.
Okay, here's the thing. Beckerman and the defender behind him, I'm trying to... Is O'Pear behind him? I believe.
Might find out.
Yeah. Mark quickly find out for me. Goes for it. And Beckham does a lovely little fake shot. Here's the thing. If you got two guys, one in front of the other, here's what you should do if that happens. One should feint the other way, and the other should stay still to see if he's going to dodge off the other way. They both jump to the side. Beckerman tries to do a lunge, and Olev full-on throws himself, slide tackling to the side to try and block it. And Beckham's just cut him back and made him look like right fools. And then nigh on walks into the middle of the box, and Nick Romando does his best, charges out, spreads his body as wide as he can. But this is Steven Gerrard. He's going to finish to the bottom corner if he's given a chance like that.
You can't. I see what the point you're making. You can't. No matter what score it is in a match, that is offensive to your fans when you stand there and let any player just walk into your box and score.
The look on Nick Romando's face is of just it's a mix of anger, disgust, and sadness because his defence.
Sadness.
But you look on his face. He's relied on this defence for so long. They've had an unbeaten streak, and now they've lit. This game was appalling, absolutely appalling for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah.
However, we got to give Galaxy credit. Oh boy, did they go into this game! They absolutely destroyed Salt Lake.
Some of the goals that were scored. I mean, let's rattle them through. Zardes' goal. I think I gave that a round of applause when I watched it. You've got Dos Santos' goal.
What's a good goal?
Brilliant again, worth a round of applause. Gerrard's goal was quality.
Which one was better, Dos Santos?
We'll get onto that.
We'll get onto that later.
We'll get into that. Here's the thing, though. Okay, first thing I want to talk about. The penalty straight out the gate that LA Galaxy was.
This is going to be slating referees again.
Okay, here's what happened. Tony Beltran wrapped his arm around Giovanni Dos Santos in the box. Nick Romando saves... Beltran gets his arm around Dos Santos. It is... What was the phrase you used, Mark?
Soft.
Yeah. It is very, very soft. I don't think it's a penalty.
I mean, what point in the game was it?
Oh, real early. 6th minute.
So we gave a penalty in the 6th minute that arguably probably wasn't a penalty.
It's just got...
I don't even know
to be honest, I admire that. It shows the referee has got bottle.
Yeah.
He's got bottle to make. He's not afraid to make big decisions. Whether it was right or wrong, he's not afraid to make the decision.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how brave you are.
I know, but you've got to be brave as a referee. You will know that as well as anyone, Rich.
No, you've got to be brave making decisions.
Yeah, but you got to get them right.
Yeah, well,
either way, Gerrard steps up to take this penalty. Nick Romando is Nick Romando. Gets down well, saves it. It's not the greatest penalty, but it's not bad. Nick Romando just does a good job saving it. And then it's actually Salt Lake who drew first blood. Juan Manuel Burrito Martinez beat Rao in the goal, snapping in Mulholland's cross with a slight flicked-on header. Arguable if he intentionally meant to do that or it was an accident. Me and Mark had a debate about this earlier. But they went into lead. But then LA just smashed back into it. Zardes, that goal we'd said that's fantastic, gets around 3 defenders and then absolutely belts it to the back.
It just whips it into the bottom corner. Just brilliant.
Then you've got...
I've not seen as good a goal of that in the MLS for quite some time.
Emmanuel Boateng.
About 20 minutes after.
Until I saw Dos Santos's.
Yeah. Hang on, just saying, we had that a few weeks ago when I said Dom Dwyer, that is probably goal of the season, that's definitely my goal of the week. And then Quincy Americai scored that absolute belter past Portland Timbers, and I literally just went, you got to be kidding me. But Emmanuel Boateng, who I want to say was absolutely sensational, they pretty much moved him up front with Zardes for the majority of the game, and he played phenomenally well.
got his cross in, straight, cuts the defence in half, and Mike McGee goes, thank you very much, I'm going to tap that in the back of the goal. You're 2-1 up, and then carries on. I want to say, again, Boateng charging down the wing, cuts into the box, gets fouled. Now, a lot of players would go, right, I'll throw myself to the ground, get a penalty. Boateng goes, no. He tries to keep to his feet, flicks the ball up, and then Giovanni Dos Santos, what's the word?
Wow.
Pulls a shot out of nowhere,
How he did that, we don't know.
chipping it over.
I don't know how he managed to get the leverage on it. He's doing it from a standing start, and he's managed to somehow chip that ball over.
I think Boateng needs to get credit for getting it to him, but Dos Santos needs to get a standing ovation. And I'm pretty sure he did from all the LA fans. Thereon, going from that. Then there is another penalty, which is even worse. And the worst bit is this one was scored.
I was praising the referee for having bottle water. This is just, well, I mean, we watched it and it was just like the referee pointed at the spot and we were just sat here. What's he giving it for?
Yeah,
What's he giving it for? And even watching in replay, you think him still, where is the foul?
Well, even we were all just like the Galaxy players, like players don't like it when they get given decisions against them all the rest of it. I don't think Galaxy players were angry. They were more confused and bemused as to what on earth was actually going on.
But I mean, I forgot to mention Boateng's goal course, build-up play just before
and he
that.
had a great game. He had a very, very good
Flicked
game.
on and by Zardes. Question if Zardes meant to do it, but. And then Boateng finishes well. Morales puts away this penalty. And then, as we've already talked about Gerald's goal, 5-2. Salt Lake fans must be just thinking, how did this happen? And I'm simply going to say defence.
Right. To summarise with that, playoffs, yes or no for Galaxy?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, cool. Salt Lake.
Yes.
Easily?
Yeah,
Are they going to be nearly top or they're just?
Mid. I'd say
Like 4th or 5th?
3rd to 5th.
3rd to 5th. Right, okay, that's all.
No, the one thing I want to ask, though, LA, do you think they can get the title?
Yes.
You're going to say it? Rich, title or not for LA?
Come back to me in 6 weeks. No, I'm gonna
Come back to you. We'll come back to you.
Come
in
back to me
October.
at the end of the season.
Do I think they can win it? Yeah, I think they can win. I think they would be able to win it. I'm not sure if they will win it, but I think they've got the sort of talent there.
Well jumped around. Okay.
That's just like the biggest hedge I've ever seen or heard.
Okay, moving on swiftly.
Right.
Cheers.
This
Mark.
is the big one. The big feature that we love doing here in the SourceMLS studios is, of course, Team of the Week.
Hooray, Team of the Week. We've missed it.
We have missed it. It's been a long time, far, far too long.
Yeah, we've been spent doing other things as well, which haven't been as fun as this. So it's even
Yes.
not.
Right. We've had a bit of debate early on of what formation we're going to go for, and, well, I personally would like to go 4-4-2. Rich wants to go 4-3-3.
No, I can go 4-4-2. I did my Team of the Week as a 4-4-2 to accommodate you, Mark. So
He's been
to accommodate me.
we are going to go 4-4-2. Yes.
Okay.
We're
Right.
There's no. Sort
I don't
of-
know what that's supposed to mean, guys.
Hey
but-
up.
Right. In net, I've put a player.
Sorry, for anyone who's not from this area of the world, can you please repeat that phrase, please?
In net.
In net.
How am I going to say that as well? Yeah.
Our
What-
goalkeeper
Yes.
for the Team of the Week is.
For that team of week, what my dear friend means to say is the goalkeeper that will be between the posts for us in our fantasy team
between
is...
the posts.
Yeah. Between the
where
sticks.
else are you going to be?
Between the jumpers. Jumpers for goalposts.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Enough of the Mickey takes.
Before
Yes,
we get even
I
more
have put-
sidetracked, we can continue with our team.
I put a player down who, well, I put him down for one save he made in the game that I watched, and since we've started this podcast, I've changed my mind.
Oh, jeez. Who is it?
Well, originally it was Bingham for San Jose because he made a very, very good save from a Dwyer header at almost point blank range,
Yeah.
and that was pretty much all he had to do all game. But like you alluded to me about Ousted being in very, very good form, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna change my answer to Ousted. I don't know what you guys think, but Ousted is mine.
Here's the thing. I
I'm
would put...
going to go Alsted, mate. I had Travis Warren in mind because DC haven't kept a lot of clean sheets this season.
I was going to go Alston until I realised I've already got other Vancouver players, so I went Fry, but I've been overruled here. 2v1. Our goalkeeper this week is Usted.
Ousted. Right, the centre backs. You guys want to pitch your centre backs first?
Kendall Watson and Richie Marquez. What do we think then, gentlemen? Because if you're going to keep David Villa quiet, you're a good player.
You're saying Marquez.
Yes.
I'll agree with it on Marquez. The other one I say is Harvey.
Who for?
Harvey's a fullback.
Is he?
a
I've got
fullback.
him as centre back down there.
What team?
Vancouver.
Yeah, get him in, mate.
Well, I had Harvey, but I had him as my left back.
Yeah,
That's what he put. They've had him down as on.
I
TV.
say we just put our 4 defenders, 5 defenders, 3 defenders, whatever, just down.
Well,
Just
fullbacks
doesn't
can-
matter what position, just put them down.
Fullbacks can play across.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If you're a defender, you've got to be versatile. I've learnt that.
Right, so we agreed on Harvey.
Harvey, yeah.
Yes,
I agree with him on
Richie Marquez.
Richie Marquez, so he's in as well.
Marquez. Yeah,
So
I'll agree.
my
with
other two are Moore and Ed even. Don't know if you agree with me on that one, lads.
I had Seaman and Wow.
Yeah, I had Beaters Howard and Kemp, so I mean we're gonna have to make a compromise somewhere, guys. I had Beaters Howard for Toronto because I heard he played.
I think this is
quite
the
well.
first time we've actually had all different players as a back four, near enough.
Okay.
And keeper.
Ed,
And keeper.
Vancouver.
Who?
Ed for Vancouver.
Ed.
Clean sheet. Ed. AIRD.
We've already got Harvey though.
Yeah,
and Elstead.
we've got to be careful about Vancouver players.
We can't
'cause
just have a
they
whole back five of Vancouver.
We should have Vancouver.
Okay, one more. Toronto.
I'll agree with Toronto.
Yeah, right.
He's in.
Yeah.
So that means we've got one left. So you're not agreeing with me on Ed, so I'm out of this.
Well,
I had Franklin as my right back.
what team was that? What team?
Franklin for...
I can't remember. to be honest.
pitch us Franklin. You can't even remember. Okay. Rich,
I
you
picked
got the
I
pitch.
can't remember. I was doing this. I didn't remember what. I was looking through the highlights.
How unprofessional, ladies and
Well, I
gentlemen.
had Taylor Kemp down as my left back. It's for the simple fact that he actually suffered 2 fouls and only committed 1 foul. I was.
That's a very good statistic.
You know, I was kind of scraping the barrel of it when I was looking for my defense.
You're going for that for your DC. Why don't we go Ed for Vancouver? Because I've got no other Vancouver players to put in my lineup,
Yeah, we're not got any Vancouver.
and that'd only be 3 Vancouver players.
Fine. Use our Vancouver
Pitched.
thing.
Fine.
See,
How do you spell this?
AIRD. Ed. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you pitch to people. These two didn't know what they were doing. Just boom, in you go.
Right.
Vancouver fans, I'm fighting for your camp.
Right. Midfield.
Midfield.
I'll pitch mine first.
Okay.
One of them I think you'll probably agree with.
Is one of these not like the other?
Giovanni Dos Santos
Yeah.
is one of my midfielders.
No.
I've got him in.
What?
He's a striker.
Midfield.
No,
Attacking midfield.
You
Attacking
said this.
mid.
You said this
Attacking
earlier
mid.
on the pod. You said
Yeah,
this
we
earlier
have this
before
problem.
we went live. You said he is a centre forward, a striker.
No, I didn't. I say he's a number 10.
Yeah, a striker.
Attacking mid.
No. I've got him.
He
look,
plays behind the striker.
I've got him on the left wing here.
He's a striker, isn't he?
Well,
he
we've
can
got
play-
him anyway, so.
Does he go? Is he up front?
Number 10. It's your call, Rich. Number 10 or striker.
Look, I mean, I've got Giovanni Dos Santos playing left wing because I always
Wait. And this was in your 4-3-3.
no my 4-4-2. I told you just. I was
Rich is,
going
for those
4-4-2.
listening to the podcast, Rich is showing his team up for everyone. I was on Periscope, listening to the stream, can see that his team.
Right.
Right, it's your call.
No, we're gonna come back to it. We're
Right,
gonna
well,
come back
okay.
to it.
Okay.
I've got 2 Red Bull players.
I haven't got a Red Bull player.
Grella,
Yeah, I haven't got a Red Bull player either.
I'll agree with Grella.
We probably should have a Red Bull
I
player.
will agree
anyway.
with Grella.
Kielston.
Sorry?
I can never say it right.
Well,
Kelston.
let's put Grella in first. Because that's 2 at least, therefore.
Kelston.
Who does he play for?
Red Bulls.
Okay.
Got 2 assists. Had a fantastic game. I'd put him in.
The whole...
Him
the whole-
and Grella ran the show.
Yeah,
Um,
Wikipedia says that apparently he is
Who? What source is
Oh,
this?
Wikipedia.
He's an attacking midfielder and he's been deployed as a winger forward and a secondary striker. Yeah, he's one of them who can play across the park. So I reckon we should put him as a winger just to accommodate my 2 strikers. Who,
Right, so we'll put Dos Santos in.
Yeah, put him in the left wing. What harm could it do? Really, lads. What harm?
Right, so we've got 2 midfielders, so we need two more midfielders to go in.
I've got Acosta for DC. Had a great game. DC.
I'll agree with you, Acosta. And the other one I had was Jones for Colorado. Scored a goal on good start to his career.
I thought he was suspended, wasn't he?
He scored.
Hang on. Hang on.
He scored.
No, sorry. I got told by someone he was. Colorado was not my game, ladies and gentlemen. I have to apologise, and I haven't actually looked at it. But I thought...
There you go, look.
Oh, he was. I was told he was suspended.
Scored.
No, okay, put him in then.
Oh, that's on midfield. Are you okay with that, Rich? That's
so
on midfield, done if he
just
goes
to go
in.
over again, guys. We've got Dos Santos,
Acosta.
Acosta, and
Grella.
the guy you just said.
And
Jermaine Jones.
Yeah.
Jones.
Jermaine Jones, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
last one I've got to say. Wait, is that
Oh.
4?
That's 4 in midfield, yeah.
All right. I was going to say, the last one I was going to shout out was Johnson for Toronto.
Yeah.
Johnson had a good game.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, come on. Let's go strikers.
These strikers should be really quite easy now. Mark, what do you reckon for your strikers, mate?
I've gone for the 2 players who got 2 goals each. John is sighing at me right now as I say that. I've gone for Seb Giovinco and Bradley Wright Phillips.
I'd like to second your suggestions for Seb Giovinco and Bradley Wright. Because, believe it or not, I have also gone for Sebastian Giovinco and Bradley Wright Phillips. As you say, John, Mark, 2 goals each. Wright Phillips, broken his duck for the season. 2 goals each. Giovinco with Toronto, he leads the line for them very well, and he's doing the business yet again. So,
Just for the sake of argument's sake,
yeah, who did
John,
you-
pitch your players for us, just so
Yeah, listen.
so it's on the record who you had.
Yeah,
Okay, here's the thing. Originally, I was going to say Acosta as a striker, and then I realised I'd never be able to argue him. So the 2 I've got is Wright Phillips
Oh,
and Boateng for LA Galaxy.
I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. He ran that entire game. It was basically like he was having a training game. You could see it on his face. He was loving it. And literally, his game was epitomised for me when he sets up Giovanni Dos Santos' goal. He could have gone down under the pressure. He could have just flopped on the ground and gone, I want a penalty. But no, he kept fighting and he got the ball through. I thought he was fantastic. And yeah, I know Giovinco got 2 goals. But it's the simple fact is, Boateng worked his socks off that entire game.
Yeah,
he
I know,
outplayed
but
everyone.
there's one argument, and I hear what you're saying, John, but there's one
don't get
argument.
me wrong,
I think
they are all valid points, and
But-
I really do see where you're going with this.
but it's 2 against 1.
It's not even that. It's the fact that Bradley Wright Phillips has scored his goal.
No, I'm not arguing against Phillips. I'm arguing against Giovinco.
Oh, you want to argue Giovinco, do you? Well, I'll take your Boateng and give
There
you
seems to be
Giovinco.
a tussle in the studio now.
Well, no, because I'll debate with Rich, because Rich will give me a debate. You just went, it's 2 against 1, it's democracy.
Well, I don't know if you saw the first game.
What was that accent,
I
John?
don't-
Yours.
I don't know if you saw Toronto's first game. You probably did. Toronto versus Red Bulls first game of the season.
Yeah, I commentated on it.
Giovinco early goal, wraps it up at the end. He's done
I'm
exactly.
going to stick up for John here and say that's a different game.
No. What
Yeah,
I'm
you're
saying
thinking
is-
of a different game, because Giovinco's goals were late
What
on.
I'm saying is he's done exactly the same thing this week. Early goal, wraps up at the end of the game. You know,
One was,
so-
a,
so
one
that-
was a penalty. I will
So
say.
that means
Against
he
the
was
top
quiet
team-
for the
again-
entire game in the middle.
No, he scored in the 40th minute, one in the 81st minute.
Doesn't
against
matter
the top-
when he
against-
scores them, he scored them.
Yes, it does, because they are the times in which he scores are very important indeed, and it's against
Richard's
one of-
raising his finger to me as he says this.
it's against one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, the Montreal Impact. So and
Can we call any team in the MLS a top team? Because every time we do, they seem to flop.
No, it was.
Yeah, I'd like to point out, though, mine was up against the only undefeated team going into this week. We'd
Yeah.
seen Montreal get taken out by Dallas. We'd seen Montreal falter against quite a few teams, and we knew the Drogba wasn't on form. We knew. I've seen quite a few match reports saying Drogba wasn't great in that game. Was very quiet. Had 6 shots, only got 1 on target, and it was a weak header. Not a strong Montreal. However, we've got a Salt Lake coming into this who were good, and Boateng absolutely demolished them. He led fantastically.
I'm just waiting for John to turn around and say my dad's better than your dad.
I'm not going to give my dad that credit. But either way, I've been outvoted, so... unless Mark's had a change of heart, which I know he hasn't.
No, I'm still going Giovinco. He did well for my fantasy team. I'm going to stick by him.
Giovinco scored more goals.
Whoa. So it's not how well they were, it's how well they did for you.
John,
He got 2 goals.
John Giovinco scored more goals than Boateng did.
Yeah, but one was a penalty, which one I'm going to raise eyebrows
He still
over.
scored.
Yeah, I know.
Nah.
Still scored it. Gerrard missed a penalty.
Galaxy fans, tweet us. Support me. I'm backing Boateng.
No one's saying Boateng didn't have a good game.
No, I'm not saying. I was saying
What-
Giovinco had a better game.
But Giovinco scored more goals.
Giovinco scored more goals.
I know. Otherwise, right, you may as well rewrite the rules of football.
Oh, whoa. So
Rewrite the rules of
wait, if
football.
it's more goals, then we've got to rewrite this entire team because there's people who've got more goals in different positions but had terrible games.
Yeah, but a striker's remit is to score goals. Midfielder's remit is to play.
To play?
And to create the goals.
Create
Play.
That's if you play, you're in.
Yeah.
I'm detecting a whiff of the certain.
What
odour.
is that signal you're
Yeah,
doing?
I
Rob?
already don't know
BS.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think we're going to reach a compromise, but it's 2 against 1, so
Yeah.
tough, John. Sorry.
Wait, we're not going to reach a compromise. We've reached a compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
was
know,
gonna say,
I've
we've-
contradicted myself
We
there.
have just reached a compromise, and Mark said we wouldn't reach 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to read through the team, and John's going to shake his head as we go
Oh
through
no,
it.
go on.
Okay. Our steading is our in the net, as John likes to keep reminding me of. In the net.
Is that my accent?
Yes. We have Edge, Moore, Marquez, and Harvey as our defenders. Dos Santos, Acosta, Jones, and Grella, as our midfielders, and Giovinco and Bradley Wright Phillips as our strikers. That is the official SourceMLS Team of the Week.
There's only one thing left to do, I think, before we wrap up, and that is our goal of the week, which I think we're pretty much in a unanimous decision on.
Well, Rich said earlier on when he saw Zardes' goal, that's the best goal I've seen this season, and that was probably up until about 15-20 minutes later.
Yeah.
When Giovanni Dos Santos just come out of nowhere and there was just the one word wow.
It's like I said earlier on in the show though, he's not got any it's from a standing start. I don't really know how he's managed to. He's not leaning back to get it over.
It's just like got the ball,
He's
his
just-
back's to goal, and he just flicks it.
It's just done it. Like,
It's brilliant.
I'll tell you why he did it. The setup from Boateng.
Oh God!
Anyway, before I
The
annoy
humour.
these two anymore, have we got anything else to say this week?
Other than that, I've moved above you in the fantasy league now.
Okay, so
I am now 6th.
so nothing left to say.
Well, how I got slated when I was bottom. How I got slated.
Not so slight, just a Mickey tape.
yeah.
Well-
Quick fantasy roundup then.
Quick fancy roundup.
Nick Baker's still top.
What do you think?
Nick
Yeah.
Baker leading the way. A
Miles.
poor week for him, 47 points.
I outscored it. A lot of people outscored him this week.
Everyone barring me outscored him, I think.
No, my dad, Rich.
No, I didn't ask scoring.
Just gonna say, it sounded like you didn't punctuate that sentence. It sounded like you
My
said
dad, Rich.
my dad, Rich.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't say the word comma.
Well,
After my dad.
I'm still 10th, so I mean, your mate's doing well, whoever that is, Liam Crowes. Is that
Oh,
right?
that's your man, isn't it?
Oh. Who? Liam.
Yeah, I mean, 180 points in what, like 3 or 4 weeks he's played.
Yeah, he has openly said he's going to get 300 points in his first week, so he's still behind what he was going to say.
I'm just gonna say that what is it? Red light, keen light. It's been on a bit of a charge right now. So
Yeah, 76.
And you were
points.
saying off, John, that your friend Matthew is now making changes to his team and
Yeah,
rising up the leaderboard.
he was asking me some opinions the other week. So
collusion then, basically.
So why don't you put them in your team if you made him?
So what John's trying to say basically is that him and his friend are conspiring to win the league. And corrupt it.
Conspiring.
yeah, I'm conspiring when I lost.
Yeah.
Either way, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all we've got this week from the Source MLS podcast. It's goodbye from Mark.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Rich.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.